Hey there, Sovereigns. Monica Grace here from cardreadingqueen.com, and today's video is about why you can't manifest anyone or anything. And we are going to specifically talk about the 6 misconceptions that block your manifestations. So as we go through this video, I'm going to talk about this from 2 perspectives. One is from money, and the other is going to be from your twin soul. So trying to manifest a thing and trying to manifest a person. And so I'm going to try to give examples of both of those as we go through this video. Before we get into the content, I want to encourage you to get and stay connected to Card Reading Queen. We offer lots of free content, free updates, and really as you stay connected, you're going to be able to further your own goals toward money on your twin soul journey, whatever you are working toward. So make sure you stay connected. There's lots of great resources for you, and stay high. You want to stay high vibes, so stay connected to us, and you'll receive lots of information that can help you move toward what you are excited about. So we are on Facebook at Card Reading Queen. You can go to facebook.com/cardreadingqueen. That's our page. We are also on YouTube, cardreadingqueen.com/YouTube. We are on Instagram, Card Reading Queen. Twitter, we are Monica Grace CRQ. On Pinterest, we are Card Reading Queen. We have a Tumblr called dailytwinsoul.tumblr.com. And then we're on LinkedIn. We have a company page. So it's at linkedin.com/company/Card Reading Queen. So definitely whichever social network or platform you use, definitely check us out there, and let's see what we're up to. Additionally, we have all of our freebies that are mentioned in this video. You're going to find those at cardreadingqueen.com/freebies. And when you go to that page, there's going to be a long list of all the freebies we offer. Just click the one you want and go ahead and sign up for it. And those as well are free resources that go a little bit more in depth than the videos can. And you'll be able to read through those and use those tools to help you on your journey. So let's get into the content. We have 6 misconceptions about why you can't manifest anyone or anything. So the first one is that you have an attachment to the outcome of what you are trying to manifest. So attachment to outcome, it's basically a form of control. If you're familiar with my core wound wheel work, then I'm just laughing because that's a kind of a tongue twister, core wound wheel work. But if you're familiar with that, then you know that control is one of the 6 core wounds that I talk about. So attachment to outcome is a big part of that, and you're trying to control the outcome using manifestation, which does not work, actually repels what you're trying to manifest. So what's going on here is it really comes from a place of fear. So there's scarcity mindset, there's lack of trust in your higher power, and all sorts of other stuff that's going to repel away what you want. What I also see is if you're manifesting, it's a desire to manifest for others and not necessarily for their higher good. So sometimes let's say you want a job and there are several applicants. It's you desire you to have it, but you also desire others to lose it. So that would be an example of not wanting to work for the best of everybody, not wanting to work in everyone's highest good. The same with a twin soul. If you desire a specific person and you are not their twin soul, or you're not the right person for them, it would be the same thing. So you're creating attachment around this. So what you can do instead is the obvious thing, release the attachment to outcome. Of course, easier said than done, but really desiring for the right things to come to you is really what that comes down to. Additionally, desiring not the thing or the person, but desiring your higher power. So this could be God, the universe, spirit source, your creator, whoever that is. desiring that relationship manifested in the thing or person that you are looking for. So, for example, if you were going after your twin soul, you would actually want to desire your higher power in your twin soul. So, for me, my higher power is God, and I want to have that relationship with God, and I want to see that relationship manifested in my twin soul. Same with money. For me, I guess like my twin soul of careers is really what I'm doing right now. So I have several businesses online. I make a lot of content. I sell books, courses, all that sort of stuff around some really exciting topics. And that's kind of the twin soul career for me. So again, I've tried a lot of different things to make money, but when I shifted my perspective to wanting that relationship with God manifested in my career, and so I'm basically talking about like life purpose, that's when things really shifted for me. And I kind of released that attachment to outcome. The second one is that you aren't honoring the truth of who you are and what you really desire. So this one's kind of a tricky one. Basically, you can only attract what is truly meant for you at an energetic level. And so how do you know that? It's basically a discernment. So it's knowing whether you are manifesting from a place of fear and ego, or you are manifesting from a place of knowing yourself, wanting to serve your higher power, wanting to serve yourself, and coming from a place of love for yourself and for others. So this can be challenging to discern. I know for me, I always kind of knew that I was going to make quite a bit of money. So I always knew that I was going to succeed in my career and I was going to make a lot of money. And so for a long time, I would go after these high-end six-figure jobs. So I had a couple of them. And it was interesting because I was basically claiming what was not meant for me. I was claiming something that was outside of the truth of who I was. And when I finally accepted the truth of who I was, which was basically to be a writer. And I was so resistant to writing for so long because I knew that it wasn't a very profitable career, or I thought. And so I was kind of ignoring that truth of myself, and I was claiming things that were not mine. And because of that, I was, I could definitely always get that job, but then the job would fall apart within less than a year. So either I would quit the job because I just wasn't happy, or I would even just get fired from the job. And so it was kind of, I would say it was probably half and half. But the career just kept kind of falling apart because it wasn't right for me. So that was me choosing something out of ego. And so I think that people do this with their twin soul as well. What you should do instead. So first is reveal your heart to yourself. So you really gotta be on this journey, and you really gotta definitely try stuff that you think you might be excited about, but focus on just finding the truth of who you actually are and what is actually meant for you. You also have to see yourself clearly. So I really believed for a long time that I was meant to be this big, corporate director of marketing. And, I had like a number of these titles, and I really believed that that was me. And as I got to know myself better, I had to see myself more clearly and see that that was not me, that I was actually an entrepreneur. I was a writer. I was a creative. And I never understood those things about myself. I never saw myself clearly. So that is a big block to manifestation. The third one, you're trying to attract through surface or identity traits. And this, again, was me. So I will explain how. So And I'll talk about this regarding the twin soul, because I think that this is more common in relationships, though for me it came through in my career. You don't attract your twin soul through your looks, through a fancy house or a car, through a great skill. Those are all surface traits. And so sometimes, we try to attract our twin soul through, it's almost like seduction, basically. And you're trying to attract them through things that you do or things that you have. And so then the second thing that can happen is you're trying to attract them through things that you are. So it's kind of like the be, do, have, if you've ever heard of those before. And those things that you are, they're identity traits, but they still are not the thing that attracts your twin soul. So this would be like, you're kind, you're smart, you're creative, you're a hard worker. None of those are the reasons that your twin soul would like you. So what to do instead? Really attract only from a place of unconditional love and who you are at the soul level. So you don't need to really be or do or have anything to be with your twin. And you'll notice too, as you're trying to be with your twin, they don't care what you look like. They're super attracted to you no matter what you look like. And you can test this. They don't care if you're an amazing cook. Even if they love food, they really don't care if you're an amazing cook. If you cook their favorite foods, they are not going to stay with you because you're a great cook. They're not going to stay with you for sex. They're not going to stay with you because you have money. They're not going to stay with you because you offer opportunities. The way they feel about you, it's completely at a soul level. And this is really important to understand. And it's also very freeing in some ways, because it kind of shows that you don't have to be like anything. You don't have to look a certain way. And if you do look a certain way, that's great. You are doing that for yourself. And that is your self-love. It's not a tool to attract this person. And the same is true with money or with a job. You're not going to attract money through building skill sets unless they are a part of your soul design. So I currently attract money through building skill sets and through, skill sets at making videos, or skill sets at honing my ideas, skill sets at writing. Those are ways that I do make money, but I can only do that because it's part of my soul design to be a writer. If I were to work really hard at singing, for example, and try to do that as my career, it wouldn't work. And it doesn't matter that I have that skill set. I just wouldn't attract money that way because it's not part of my soul design. So additionally, attracting only from your desire to know what's really meant for you. And again, this works for both the twin soul and the money. The fourth one is that you want to blame someone for not getting what you wanted. And so this one's pretty interesting. And by blaming someone, it could be someone outside of yourself, it could be your higher power, or it could be yourself. And a lot of the time we throw the blame at ourselves, which is really not very compassionate to ourselves. So, for example, you might say, I haven't healed enough, so that's why I don't have my twin soul. Or I'm not smart enough, so that's why I don't have money. Or I'm meant to be poor, so that's why I don't have money. Another one, I caused this negative thing to happen to me. So let's say something bad happened to you, and then you feel this guilt because it's like, oh, I manifested this bad thing that happened to me. Another one is just spinning over like, oh, if I had only done this instead, then this would have happened, and kind of going down that rabbit hole. None of this is helpful because it's all just blaming somebody. And so you can't attract through blame. You're only going to repel what you want by blaming yourself. The the other thing, so this is blaming yourself. The other thing is trying to blame others and make them responsible for your healing. And this includes your twin soul. It includes your boss. It includes your customers, your audience, your coworkers. It includes everybody. So if you are trying to blame someone else for you not getting something, then you're just repelling that thing, because blame is just not it's a fear-based thing. So how can you attract using fear? That doesn't really make sense. So here's what you do instead. Eradicate all blame from manifestation. And that includes anything negative that happens to you. So you can't look at like, oh, I attracted this negative thing, it's my fault, I'm a bad manifester. That is just going to start repelling things from you. So eradicate blame from all manifestation. Blame is a distorted masculine way to control things. And I talk about this in my work on divine masculine and divine feminine. So blame is the very first one that we do. It's part of the wounding around control. And we talk about how shifting, so distorted masculine is blame, shifting to the divine masculine is responsibility. So it's shifting from blame to responsibility. That's how you shift that particular pattern. Take responsibility. I just said that. Reflection, journaling practice, and the 5U process to heal core wounding. So if you are interested in those, make sure you go to cardreadingqueen.com/freebies to get that. And then giving yourself forgiveness, having gratitude, that goes for both yourself and for others. So number 5 is you're giving attention and energy to the illusion. So your current reality and what you are seeing in your current reality, in your 3D, it's a product of your past self and your past choices. So the example I have is, let's say that you are married right now and you've been married for 10 years. This is just an example. Now, you being married is the product of your past decisions and choices. So it's actually a past, you decided, more than 10 years ago to get married. So that was one choice you made. But it's also that 5 years ago, you decided to stay married. And 6 years ago, you also decided to stay married. 4 years ago, you also decided to stay married. And in fact, yesterday you decided to stay married, and today you've decided to stay married. And so think of all the choices for every moment for the last 10 years. That is what created your current reality. And so you may like that current reality or you may not. But in order to reverse that current reality, you're going to have to make new choices. And you have to understand you have 10 years of choices that have put you on this path. So when you realize that, you can see that that's true for almost anything in the physical. So it's true when you look in the mirror and you look at how much you weigh, for example. That is, dozens of choices every day for the last 10, 15, 20, and maybe even more than that years. It's so many decisions that has accumulated to one reality. And what you can tell by that is, it's an illusion. So as soon as you make a new choice and continue to take action on that choice, then you are breaking through that illusion. So here's what you want to do instead. Have compassion for your past self by ignoring your current reality. So your current reality has literally no bearing on who you're becoming. It only shows you who you have been. Make a new choice. Take action that's aligned with a new choice every single day. And then when you see dissonance in your current reality, change what you can about that dissonance. So you want to just get your reality realigned to your current choice. And that, that could take a while. So if you've gained a bunch of weight, let's say you put on 50 pounds and you want to lose those 50 pounds, well, you can't manifest that in a day because you've had so many choices that you need to make a new choice about. So that's why it may take you, 6 months, a year to lose that 50 pounds. And obviously there's health and such. That's a part of it. So, number 6, you are choosing an unhelpful story for your manifestation. And so this one's about choosing bad stories. So we all as individuals have a preference for trusting thoughts, feelings, words, or actions. And so it's basically it's usually like we prefer thoughts or feelings, we prefer words or actions, or emotions. And so we tend to think that one of these things is more trustworthy than others. And it's based on what we believe. So I'm a person who prefers words over actions. Like when I say things that I know I'm going to take action on them eventually, even if it's like 5 years from now, I don't feel the need to take action on something. Once I say it, I know that I'm going to do it because I said it. But somebody could look at me and say, and if they prefer action, then they could interpret that as her words mean nothing. All that is important is the action that she takes. So they're trusting something that is not the reality. And so they're creating this story around what I'm saying, what I'm doing, and it's not actually true. And so I see people do this a lot with their twin souls. It's like they see what's going on in the physical and they create a story around it based on their preferences and their interpretations, and it's like it could be like a wildly bad story that has no bearing in reality. So none of these sources is more trustworthy than the other. You can actually use all of them to figure out what's really going on in the 3D. And before I get into this next point, I just want to say that, people think that like thoughts, feelings, actions, whatever, that's how that person really feels. And it isn't necessarily. So I've noticed, for example, that what people say is not how they feel. And what people think is also not how they feel. And even what people feel is not actually how they feel a lot of the time. So sometimes it's a surface feeling that is covering up something that is deeper. So they can, on the surface, feel very angry, but that's covering up hurt and pain. And so so what you realize from this is that even if, like, let's say you text your twin soul and they swipe left on that text, they're like, I'm not even gonna look at this. I'm not gonna send the read receipt. And they, roll their eyes. They're super annoyed by you, and that's what they think and feel at that time. That's still not real, and the reason is because that surface reaction could be hiding a deeper feeling. So it could be that they don't like you at all, or it could be that they have a lot of feelings for you that they don't know how to interpret and they just don't want to deal with it right now. Or it could be something else. So I just want to say that really the stories we create are kind of BS no matter what they are. And we look for these facts in real life and they're just not there. So looking for security outside of yourself, that's really what's going on here is in choosing these bad stories. And so what you would do instead, stories are a manifestation tool. So shift your thinking around that. You always want to choose the best story you can come up with. And then the other thing is that you can look at your worst case scenario story, like, oh, he swiped left on my text and is ignoring me. And that, that could be a very painful story for you, but it's like, how do you turn that story into the best story you can? Well, you could say that his actions are not indicative of how he's really feeling, or his actions or like his thoughts are not indicative of how he's feeling. Even his feeling is not indicative of how he's feeling, because his feeling may be very surface and may be very reactionary, and not indicative of what's really going on. So turn every story into a great story, as what someone does doesn't represent how they actually feel. All right, so those are the 6 misconceptions. I hope this video has been helpful to you. Next steps, look at your current upset. Choose one of these areas where you are repelling instead of attracting. So look at these 6 different misconceptions and see if any of them apply to you. Then you can try the reflection journaling practice. It's at cardreadingqueen.com/freebies. There's actually a number of things that I think could be helpful after watching this video, but definitely just try one of our freebies at cardreadingqueen.com/freebies. And then if you want to share, definitely leave a comment on this posting and let us know what your upset is, what's going on. We are happy to chat with you about this. And if you are interested in the twin soul work, make sure you go to cardreadingqueen.com/twin soul journey. That is my book about this. It's called Your Twin Soul Journey, a guide to experience eternal, unconditional, harmonious, embodied love and union with your divine partner. So this is Your Twin Soul Journey. It's by Monica Grace. And that is all for me. So I hope this video was helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching and have a beautiful and blessed day.